perfect end to a perfect day. Manchester City 4, Manchester United 1. Oh, what a hedge! Oh, that's electrifying!
Hat-trick hunting, trick getting. Still the appetite is there for more. Oh, it is sensational!
Welcome, guys. Welcome. Welcome. I hope you're having a lovely Thursday. Obviously, it's been long, but I'm back. And I'm going to just do a video based on the transfers and also talk about a few players from this season and also life after Pep, because I've been watching a lot of people on Twitter who are panicking that when Pep is done, what's going to happen to Man City? Is the club going to go down under? Are we going to end up 10th? Are we going to end up in one of those positions that teams like Man United are ending up right now? Like Liverpool, when some of the great coaches left, they went down to numbers outside the Champions League. So people are panicking. So we're going to talk about life after Pep. But the first thing is subscribe, guys. If you haven't subscribed yet, like the video. I took a bit of a break due to a treatment. I had treatment this week on Monday, so I took a break. I said I'll be back on Thursday, so I'm back today. I'm going to do a few videos. If I see any reliable transfers, I'll talk about it. Today, I'm just going to talk about the transfers I'm seeing, obviously via Twitter, and people are getting excited over Rodrigo from Madrid. We'll talk about that, the possibilities of Rodrigo coming to Man City. We'll talk about Bruno Guimaraes, who we've been linked with. But there's a few stories from the side of Newcastle about him. We'll also talk about Michael, the keeper from Germany, that supposedly Man City are looking at in case Ederson leaves. We'll also talk about players that are leaving. But guys, like the vid. And if you're on Twitter, like the vid, retweet, do whatever you can do. We're trying to get to 3K. At this point in time, I think we're on 2.3. It is possible to get to 3K. You know me, I get to these numbers very fast. So the next one is 3K. So okay, let's get this. Let's get the show on the run. Let me see my man here, Big Morgan. Hello everybody. Hope we have recovered from the FA Cup. I have recovered. Let me just talk about the FA Cup, obviously, because it's the elephant in the room. Yes, we lost in the FA Cup. I didn't believe it at all. I wasn't actually well during that day, to be honest with you. I was a bit sick, but I still managed to watch the game halfway while I'm sleeping. Very disappointing game, to be honest. If you're looking at the game, some of the players were not tracking back. Some of the players didn't look like they were into it. The game plan didn't look that well. I was surprised when the lineup came out and Pep Guardiola had Nathan Ake and John Stones in centre-back pairing, while Ruben Diaz and Akanji have been sharp and have been keeping clean sheets. So I think everything about that game I just didn't get. But anyway, let's move from that. Your new start is excellent. Thank you very much, Big Morgan, man. I'm trying to always advance. You see, even the layout of the channel, I'm always trying to advance things. As I know I'm not always consistent, but I always try to bring quality. Quality, you know, according to camera, trying to improve the camera. I always try to improve quality on everything. As always, I tell people, this channel, I welcome everybody. If somebody on Twitter or you're watching on YouTube, you're willing to come here to speak to me most of the times, I'm always willing. It's not like it's an exclusive channel. Everybody's welcome. Everybody can come in and speak their mind out. I'm going to do a season review in general. Today, I was supposed to be joined by a few people, but I think they're busy. So anyway, I'm going to do a solo show. Let's start off with the things that we've been hearing. As always, I love a presentation. I love myself a presentation. When I was in school, I love doing presentations. So everything I do, I present. I make sure that it's out there. Everybody can see it. So Pep Guardiola is leaving, right? But we've got transfers from inside that, players that are supposedly leaving. So the 6 players who could leave Man City before Pep Guardiola exit. I got this from somewhere. I don't remember where I got it from, but I just got this graphic from somewhere on Twitter. These are the players that people have been talking about for the past few weeks, ever since the FA Cup final. We're going to start with De Bruyne. Now, there's rumors that Saudi, America are supposedly the places that he might end up. Obviously, in America, they're saying it might be New York. That's the team that's owned by CFG. And obviously Saudi have been looking at De Bruyne for a while now, and they're interested to bring him. You know how Saudi is trying to push the brand, so they're looking for big ballers. Obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo was one of the biggest, and then a few people followed, but they're looking for De Bruyne to go there. Now, what are my thoughts on this? Because as always, these are just transfer rumors. Nobody has got any solid information. We don't know any information right now if De Bruyne is staying at City. He hasn't said anything himself. Man City haven't brought any statements out that we're selling De Bruyne. I haven't seen anywhere they're saying Man City is selling De Bruyne to Saudi or they're letting him go. Now, the thing about De Bruyne is this. This is my personal opinion, and I don't know how people feel. If you let me know how you feel in the comments, guys. If you're on Twitter, comment on Twitter. If you're on YouTube, comment on YouTube. Let me know how you feel. Basically, look, De Bruyne is 33 years old. Let me check. I'm going to check. 33 years old. Is he 33? 33 or turning 34? When is he turning 34? So right now he's 32 years old, Kevin De Bruyne. In June, wow, he has the same month birthday as me. I'm also from June. In June, he's going to turn 33 years old. So he's not that old. I actually thought De Bruyne was 33. Why did I think De Bruyne was 33? My God, I didn't know he was just 32. 32, we can work with that. We can definitely work with that. So De Bruyne is 32 years old. He's turning 33 in June. Still one of or not the best midfielder in the world right now. The only thing with me right now is if De Bruyne stays at City, does it affect Phil Foden's development? But we've seen both of them play in the team, but there's been a slight issue. When De Bruyne and Foden play, right, we sometimes lack a bit of control in that midfield. Okay, so we lack a bit of control sometimes in that midfield. What do I mean? I mean, like, because Phil Foden and De Bruyne are both attacking, and this is not the same De Bruyne from years ago where he could track back and he could run as fast. Look, De Bruyne can still work in this team. But every time I see him and Phil Foden, I just feel like if there's a counter attack, we're easy to counter attack or get attacked in that midfield. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe that's why Pep Guardiola has changed the system this season, where when De Bruyne is playing, Foden is a winger, but not actually a winger. It's as if he's a winger, but he tacks in, and then Josko is the one who holds the width. I don't know if you've noticed that. It's just a way for him, I think, to feed in De Bruyne, but to also manage to feed in Kovacic. Because Kovacic and Rodri, the balance is better with both of them in the team. But also he needs Foden down the middle, so he tells Foden to drop into the middle. So all I'm trying to say is, if we are going with a team that, let's say De Bruyne stays, I just feel like he is capable of playing in this team because he's top quality. Look, you can never doubt De Bruyne's quality. But the only issue I see is he's slowing down a bit, which is not a problem because players like De Bruyne are very smart. It doesn't matter. They don't have to run. They don't have to make any runs. We saw him against Spurs. He didn't have to run. All he does is pick his moments, pick the passes. But the thing is, he's getting old, and City's main game is pressing. It's pressing, tracking back, running a lot. So the fact that it's also Phil Foden's time now, it looks like it's Phil Foden. Even though Phil Foden is not as good as De Bruyne, I've actually realized now that I don't think Foden can actually carry this team that better than De Bruyne. It is what it is, man. He's another type of player. He gets us through the line in another way by scoring on awesome goals like this season. Player of the year, he deserves it. But I'm saying De Bruyne might have to. I said this earlier this season, and a lot of people got pissed off. He might actually have to become a bench player or only play in certain games, like important games. So let me explain to you. Let's say, for instance, we have a Champions League semi-final against Madrid. De Bruyne plays. Do you get what I mean? We've got an important game maybe against Chelsea, United, and you just need De Bruyne plays. But we don't have to see De Bruyne. Let's say, for instance, we're in the Champions League group stages. We are playing against some team, some team that's not that great. Then you have De Bruyne playing. So I think his minutes are going to have to be controlled. But if he's leaving, it is what it is, people. We let go of David Silva, let go of Yaya Toure. Very good players, man. Zabaleta, those very good players. Joe Hart. There's been good players in this Man City team that have left the team. And I know our hearts were broken. Like David Silva, my God, David Silva, I wanted him to play with us till maybe he's 40 years old, but it is not possible. You have to change. Yaya Toure, man, was a machine. The guy going through the middle was amazing, but he had to leave. Sergio Aguero left the club. None of us thought Sergio Aguero could leave. So when we are looking at the list of these names, De Bruyne, Kyle Walker, Edison, I don't know about Jack Grealish. I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. Calvin Phillips, Bernardo Silva. Sometimes in life, things move on. You must not forget. Kyle Walker, De Bruyne. How many Premier Leagues have they won? They've won so many Premier Leagues, man. Edison, so many Premier Leagues, and they've won the UCL with City. So if any of these players are deciding to leave or deciding to move on, it is what it is. Let's not forget even another good name by Big Morgan here. Thank you very much, Big Morgan. Fernandinho. Remember, we were all crying for Fernandinho, but we saw the end for Fernandinho. We saw that he was not as fast anymore. So De Bruyne, I would like him to stay for one more year. That's just me. One more year and see how it is, see how he goes. I don't know, Veda, if you're free, I'll just send you a link, Veda. If you're free, if you want to join, I'll just send the link to the group and see if you can. But De Bruyne especially, I wouldn't mind him staying for a year because I feel like it's not easy to find a player of such quality. And if we're looking for another creative midfielder, I'd rather De Bruyne be here when that midfielder is here for the midfielder, learn from De Bruyne. But it is what it is, man. There's a lot of things we can do. I see the website has also listed Oscar Bob as a midfielder. Maybe Oscar Bob will play in the midfield. But for De Bruyne, yes, I don't think he's going to leave. I highly doubt he's going to leave. I think if De Bruyne was leaving, we would see City being very aggressive in the market, looking for a very creative midfielder. Maybe Vets from Leverkusen. Dani Olmo is also very creative. They could have been looking for people like Musiala, as we've been linked with Musiala, but I don't know if Bayern are going to sell. I highly, I repeat, doubt if Bayern are going to sell Musiala to City. I've been telling this to a lot of people. Even Kimmich, when the Kimmich story came in, I did not think it was going to happen. When the story about Kimmich came in, I was like, nah. I don't think Bayern are going to sell Kimmich. Isn't Kimmich even the captain? I think he's staying. I think the only reason why those rumors that Kimmich might come to Man City was the fact that I think he did not see eye to eye with Thomas Tuchel, because I think most of the senior players at Bayern did not see eye to eye with Thomas Tuchel. So they were saying, we might leave. But anyway, Fernandinho left. So I don't think KDB leaves. So out of this list, KDB is a no for me. Kyle Walker, the captain, I've seen a lot of people are giving Kyle Walker stick. I think a lot of people are not happy with him as captain. I can see why. I do understand. He announced the podcast, and I don't know how people were fuming after he announced the podcast. People were fuming, telling him to shut up, that he talks too much. I don't know how people feel about Kyle Walker. For me, if we moved Walker, I wouldn't mind. If Walker moved on, because I think he wanted to go to Bayern last season, right? If Kyle Walker moved on, I wouldn't mind. I don't know if it's just me. I know a lot of people, they say, oh, Kyle Walker is here to stop counters, stop players like Vinicius Jr. I get that. But Walker, he hasn't had a great season at all. Like, this season has been up and down, and he hasn't had a very great season, Kyle Walker. So if Walker is leaving, is one of the players that leaves before Pep Guardiola's supposedly exit, I wouldn't mind moving on Kyle Walker. I wouldn't mind trying Yan Couto. I don't know why we don't give Yan Couto, the one from Girona, the one we own from Girona, a chance. I don't know why we're not giving that kid who was at Luton Town, the fullback, the African one. I forgot his name. I don't know why we don't give him an opportunity. Like, these are fast, strong fullbacks. Because I feel like even Robinson from Fulham, I know he's a left back, but we're looking for somebody who's fast. I feel like we need to get a fullback who's very creative. Why do I say that? Because if you look at Pep Guardiola right now, every time he plays Kyle Walker, he plays him up wide. And Kyle Walker gets into these situations where he's supposed to cross, and that's not his ability. Kyle Walker has never been good at being creative. So if City are looking to move on Kyle Walker, they have to bring a fullback who's fast but creative. Jeremy Frimpong, I know we've been linked with him, but I don't know if he's very good defensively. He is very strong offensively, but I don't know if he's very good defensively. I don't know, maybe if we play Jeremy Frimpong in the same position as Kyle Walker, out wide. Maybe somebody like Akanji can move this side and sort of protect Jeremy Frimpong in case we get countered. I don't know how his defending is, but Kyle Walker, if Kyle Walker is leaving this summer, I don't know how old is Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker must be 34 years old. Kyle Walker must definitely be 34 years old. At least De Bruyne, we said he's 32. Kyle Walker is 34 years old, man. My God. So he is 34 years old. So if we move him on, I wouldn't mind that at all. I wouldn't mind Kyle Walker being moved on at the age of 34. We can't continue keeping him. Like, how long are we going to keep Kyle Walker for? I know he's been a very good servant to the club. As I said, sometimes ETH says, welcome, big up. We have to always balance age of the players. In every age category, we need players. I know. I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. Vera Game says, Raja, Patrick, everyone here, everyone in the chat. Big up to everybody in the chat. Big up, like the vid, as I said. Danny Olmo is a top player. That's true. So, I don't know about you guys, how you guys feel. Would you keep Kyle Walker? Would you still keep him at the club? Because I think at the age of 34, if he's looking to leave, should we continue keeping him? Where is he going to play? Is he going to hinder us bringing in a young fullback? This is time for us to start thinking about rebuilding. This is what I don't want, guys. I don't want Pep Guardiola to leave this squad the same way Fergie left the Man United squad with some players that were old. Like, he shouldn't be... Like, Pep Guardiola shouldn't leave the squad and we have like 34 Kyle Walker, maybe 33 Kevin De Bruyne, like a 30-year-old Bernardo Silva. Like, I know you want to balance between youth and older players, but it's good to start thinking about the future, start moving on. Look, if the future fallback is Nico Lewis, then start playing Nico Lewis. I don't think we should see more of Kyle Walker next season if we're moving on from him. You know what I mean? Because I'm just saying, at the age of 34, I know he's too fast. He's a physical specimen. But guys, let me know in the chats, am I wrong to say at the age of 34, Kyle Walker, maybe we should be moving him on and looking for a younger fallback? And then we go Ederson. This one has shocked me a lot because Ederson is like 30 years old. I think he's 30. Very young keeper. I know he's won everything with City. I know that in the last games, he was very disappointed. The fact that Ortega was the one in goal, but he got injured a lot. But Ederson moving, I don't know. I'm not with it. I don't know if this Ederson moving is real. I think this Ederson moving might have to do with contracts. I think maybe he wants a higher contract. I hear his contract is ending in 2026 or something, or 2025, one of the two. So maybe his agent has started putting this out there so that he gets higher money in the contract. But moving Ederson, I don't think will be the right thing. Obviously, I'm going to talk about the keeper that are looking for another keeper in Germany. I'm going to show in a few minutes. And then they say if Ederson moves, Ortega might be the one stepping in as the first keeper. Then they're going to look for a second keeper. Costa from Portugal has been linked. Michael from Germany has also been linked. But Ederson leaving, I'm not really sure if Ederson is going to leave. This one I'm taking with a pinch of salt. I'm like, I don't know. It'll shock me. But you never know, man. You never know. Saudi comes with that bag. The guy might want to move. Like, Ederson has won everything with City. He's won golden boots. He's won everything in England. So he might want to go somewhere and make about your family and where you make money. Now, Jack Grealish. I don't think Jack is leaving. I highly doubt it. And I don't think Jack is going to be sold. I don't think so. Here is my reason why. First of all, this player was bought for 100 million by Man City. 100 million was invested in Jack Grealish. Yes, his form hasn't been great. There's rumors that Pep Guardiola is not happy, hasn't been happy with him in training. But for Jack to leave, I highly doubt it. I'm sorry, guys. I think this particular one is just been listed there because Jack hasn't had a good season. I think Jack still has a lot to offer to Man City. And I hope he steps up because, as I said, 100 million is a big investment. And I don't think we have got much out of it yet. Yes, we have got something out of it. The jersey sales are high with Jack Grealish. He's very popular amongst the fans. He's helped us during the treble season, but there's more to come. For me, to be honest with you, I've always thought Jack would be a good midfielder, which he is. He said it himself. I love to play in the midfield. I love to play as a number 10. But when I came to City, they want me to play as a winger. There's talk of Akanji going to Bayern. I highly doubt it. Do you remember they just signed? They signed, what's his name? Oh, that's a lovely biscuit. Didn't they sign Eric Dyer from Spurs, and they've got Delete and they've got Upamecano? I don't think so. I don't think Akanji is going to Bayern. I don't think so. Get rid of GH, no talent, better at drinking than playing football. Big Morgan is not holding back. Huh? Big Morgan is not holding back. Okay, look. I don't think Jack is leaving. I highly doubt it. And if he leaves, who's going to buy him? I don't think Jack Grealish is leaving because who's going to buy him? Who's going to afford him? Because I don't think Man City are taking anything below 50 million. No way. No way Man City are going to take anything below 50 million for Jack Grealish. I know he was linked to Chelsea, but I don't think Chelsea minimum, if Chelsea want him, minimum is 70. I don't think you're selling Jack Grealish for anything less than 70. I'm sorry. He's a treble winner and he's a very creative player. Yes, he might not be good in the eye for other people, but Jack Grealish, I don't think is leaving. I think he still has something to prove in this team. I've always said when we bought Jack, I wanted him to be the guy who takes over De Bruyne. I wanted Jack to be the creative guy. I think he has got the potential. He just has to focus. Big Morgan says back to Villa. I don't think what are Villa going to give us, Big Morgan? How much are Villa going to give us? How much are Villa going to give us? And then Calvin Phillips. So Calvin Phillips is being linked by to RB Leipzig. Apparently, he offered himself to Barcelona. I was laughing. I said I offered myself to Beyonce, and I'm still waiting for Beyonce to reply to me if Calvin Phillips has offered himself to Barcelona. That's quite funny. Everton are looking for Calvin Phillips. Leeds United are looking for a loan deal. Celtic are looking at him. Rangers are looking at Calvin Phillips. Let me say this, man. There was a bit of a small debate in one of the YouTube groups I'm in, where one of the Crystal Palace fans said, "Oh, Calvin Phillips, I wouldn't want him at Crystal Palace." And then he said, "Oh, but he's Everton level." And then there was a bit of a debate. This is what I'm saying to people. It doesn't mean just because Calvin Phillips did not work out at West Ham or did not wake up at City, this guy is still a baller. I think Calvin Phillips is still good enough to play in most of these teams in the Premier League. I wouldn't mind Douglas Luiz to come back. I would never mind Douglas Luiz to come back. If Villa want Calvin Phillips, Villa, you can have Calvin Phillips. He has got UCL experience, and you can give us back Douglas Luiz. Calvin Phillips is not a bad player. I think it's just the fact that his confidence went down. The time when he went to West Ham, his confidence was already damaged. I think he just needs to go to a team where the manager trusts him. He's able to go through preseason and then he's able to play a few games. And I think Calvin Phillips will be back to his best. But I know Calvin Phillips is on his way out. Unfortunately, according to reports, the issue with Calvin Phillips is wages. A lot of teams are not willing to take on his wages, and Man City want to either you buy him permanently, or if you take him on loan, you're gonna have to pay his wages in full. They don't want to start paying the wages while he's playing elsewhere. So that's the difficult one about Calvin Phillips, but I think he'll be moved on. So far we've talked about De Bruyne, who we think is gonna stay. Kyle Walker, I think he has to move on. Not that he's a bad player, it's just he's 34 years old. And do we keep holding on to him at the age of 34? I know he still has the speed, but I think we need a younger fullback. We need to start investing in fullbacks, or we'll end up having no fullbacks like before in the past. Ederson, I think he's going to stay. I think this is just a contract issue. I think as soon as he gets a new contract, Ederson is going to stay. Jack Grealish, I don't know if anybody can afford him, but I think he's going to stay because City are not going to. Who's going to buy Jack Grealish? I'm sorry. Who needs Jack right now? Who's going to buy him? And City paid 100. So I said they're not receiving anything below 50 for Jack. Not at all. Even below 60. Let's be honest. Calvin Phillips, as I said, Celtic interested, Rangers interested, RB Leipzig is interested. He offered himself to Barcelona. I think that's just a joke. Everton are interested. A lot of teams in the Premier League are interested. Leeds United are interested, but City want that you either buy him permanently or Phillips, if he goes to your team, you're going to have to pay his salary for him. And then Bernardo Silva. This one is very complicated. Because first of all, Bernardo Silva has got that 50 million is close in his contract, right? But nobody seems to be coming for it. So it's very complicated, but you never say never because it's not finished. You know what I'm scared of? I'm scared of Bernardo Silva going to Madrid. That's what scares me. because that 50 million is close. He can negotiate with anybody. So far, what we know is he can negotiate with anybody. So I'm only scared if Madrid come to City, because if they pay that 50 million, Bernardo Silva goes into the Madrid team. Oh my God, it's peak. It's peak for all of us. I think he's turning 30. Let's see how old Bernardo Silva is. This is the thing, guys. We keep getting emotional over these players. Bernardo Silva in August is going to be 30 years old. We keep getting emotional over these players, but some of these players, their time is running out. De Bruyne is turning 33 in June. Kyle Walker is 34 years old already. He turned 34 in May. Edison is going to be 30. Jack Grealish is going to be 29. Calvin Phillips is 28, turning 29. Bernardo Silva is turning 30. So Bernardo Silva with the 50 million years close, I don't know anybody. He was linked to PSG, but it looks like the reports say PSG have lost interest. Barcelona are forever looking for Bernardo Silva, but those guys don't have the money. Those are broke. Frankie de Jong is injured, and he seems like he never wants to leave. That's the player I'll take from Barcelona. If they want to give us Pedri and Gavi, go ahead. Let's exchange for Pedri and Gavi. But so far, on the Bernardo Silva rumor mill, there's nothing. So I would be assuming the players I see are staying so far is De Bruyne, I think, is staying. Edison is staying. Grealish is staying, and Bernardo Silva. Kyle Walker and Grealish, Kyle Walker and Calvin Phillips. Kyle Walker and Calvin Phillips, I think, might leave. If Kyle Walker leaves, I wouldn't be concerned. If he stays, I wouldn't be concerned. But I'm just saying, with his age, I would be thinking. So, guys, those are the players that are rumored that they might exit before Pep Guardiola leaves. And now let's go over to the transfer news. So, this is Michael. He's a German keeper. So, according to the rumor mill, and according to the rumor so far, even Fab has reported it, that apparently Edison might be wanting to leave, and there's a high chance that Edison is leaving the club. A lot of reports say that if Edison leaves the club, City are looking for a replacement keeper, and this is one of the keepers. His name is Michael. Let me just get his full name. It was Michael. Yeah. So his name is Michael, and is Michael. He's a German keeper. He plays in Bundesliga for Werder Bremen. Is it Bremen? Is it Werder? I don't know how to say that. But he's a very good keeper. And obviously, Man City are considering him. He's 28 years old. It looks like City are going to German keepers. It looks like City, after Ortega, are going. So Michael plays in Germany in Bundesliga. He's 28 years old, and this is one of the keepers City are looking at in case Edison goes. I've heard about Costa from Portugal. A Portuguese keeper also is being looked at by City. So the Edison one, take it with a pinch of salt. I think Edison will get an extension. I think so. I might be wrong because Fab seems to be reporting it a lot. Fab seems to be retweeting and reporting a lot. So if Edison goes, this is one of the keepers. Michael from Germany is a German keeper. 28 years old, will come in, and then Ortega will be the first choice keeper, and then whoever comes in will compete with Ortega for the first spot. Now, I have news on Bruno Guimaraes. So far, what I've been reading doesn't seem to be great. According to most sources that are like Newcastle sources, they're saying Bruno is going to stay for one season. Now, let's not forget, there's a release clause in his contract, which is going to be for the month of July, and it has to be activated within 4 weeks in the month of July. I'm a bit confused. So that release clause was put in his contract, right? And teams like City, Arsenal are inquiring about him. Yet there's rumors that, he's not for sale. But let me understand this. I don't know if people understand what a release clause is. A release clause, you don't have to speak to the club. You don't have to speak to Newcastle at all. All you do is you speak to Bruno Guimaraes and his camp, and if Bruno says yes, you go and pay the release clause to Newcastle. So Newcastle fans, I know you're saying, Newcastle says he's not for sale, but in July, he can speak to anybody. He doesn't need permission from the club. That's the thing about the release clause. You don't need to speak to anybody at the club. Man City, Arsenal, or PSG don't have to go and speak to Newcastle reps. All they have to do is go to the camp of Bruno and say, we are interested in you. We will pay the 100 million release clause. And Bruno says, I'm willing to come to your club. And it's done. So This one I'm still keeping an eye on. I know there's a lot of sources from the Newcastle side saying he'll stay for one more season, but this is the thing. What if he stays for this season and that 100 million turns into 120 or 150? What if Newcastle put a bigger price on him? So the clubs that really want him, I think they will pay the release clause of the 100 million. 100 million is nothing these days to clubs. Let's not pretend as if clubs are not dropping big numbers and big figures these days. So look, the Bruno Guimaraes story, I think the links with City are still there. I personally think he might be one of our first signings. There was a report somewhere saying just because Paqueta deal is done, because Paqueta might be found guilty for the betting case, Bruno Guimaraes, City might go more aggressive on him, because I think we need this player. I think we desperately need a player like Bruno Guimaraes in this City team. We can't have Rodri playing 75 games, because let's not forget, this season, the Champions League, right? The Champions League is going to be a different format. Of course, Newcastle sources are saying he's gonna stay. Of course, I remember when Aston Villa sources were saying Jack Grealish is gonna stay. He's not going to City. The deal is done. Remember? So I don't believe it. That's why I'm when I see these Newcastle sources saying, "Oh, he's going to stay for one season," I'm like, nah, because Newcastle will put a bigger price on him. Because if he continues performing the way he's performing, he will be 150 or 130. We know how the prices are going. So if a team wants him right now, they're going to pay that amount in July. They're paying that amount in July. And I'm telling this to Newcastle fans. Nobody has to speak to Newcastle. Nobody has to speak. All the teams, they have to just pay the 100 million. They don't have to speak to Newcastle. They don't have to negotiate with Newcastle. So when you have that release clause or exit clause in your contract, all you have to speak to is Bruno Guimaraes, convince him. Pep Guardiola just has to call Bruno Guimaraes and say, I need you at City. I'm going to play. And Bruno says, yes, I want Champions League football, which I think he wants. And boom, he's gone. So yeah, of course, Newcastle are saying this is staying. I know. So guys, like the vid. We keep going, like the vid. If you're on Twitter, retweet. Let's go to Rodrigo. Now, this Rodrigo one, I just put it there because a lot of people are talking about it. It's all over Twitter. People are like, oh, Rodrigo to City. So I did my research. Every time before I talk about transfers, I usually go and check and see and research and see, okay, how is everything going? Is this real? Is this serious? Or this is just one of those funny talks that keep going around? Look, would I want Rodrigo at City? Definitely, 100%. Do I see Rodrigo coming to City? I highly doubt it. I know that a lot of people are looking at the fact that Mbappe is going to Madrid, and it looks like the odd man out might be Rodrigo. But let's think about it, guys. Are Madrid going to sell him for cheap? I don't think so. The last link I saw, that if anybody wants Rodrigo, this is what I saw. If anybody wants Rodrigo, somebody said there's a 1 billion release clause in his contract. there's a 1 billion or 1 million, no, 1 billion. I think 1 billion release clause in his contract. So Rodrigo has got 1 billion release clause in his contract. That's Rodrigo, by the way. And guess what? It was put in there after that season he scored against us, the Champions League. So there's a 1 billion release clause in Rodrigo's contract. And I just feel like all Rodrigo said in an interview, let me tell you how the rumor started. This Rodrigo rumor, I dug. So, because I tell you, I do a lot of investigative work before I come on camera. So I said, let me check where this started from. It all started from an interview. All Rodrigo said is, we know Man City. I feel Man City are the best team in the world and they play the best football. Bang! Somebody just connected Rodrigo to City. Rodrigo wants to play for City. Oh, Rodrigo has to come to City. No, there's no legs in this at all, guys. Unfortunately, the Rodrigo one, there's no legs. We will find out if he's the guy who leaves Madrid. I don't think Madrid have put him on sale. How you doing, Mankinian Way? Big up to you, guys. Martin is going to be live at 9:30. Am I right, Martin? Martin is going to be live at 9:30. So join him at 9:30. I think he's going to have a lot to talk about. So join him at 9:30, guys. A very good channel, very good friend of mine. Big up to you, Martin. I'm very well, Martin. I'm going to be doing frequent videos. I've been looking at your times of videos, so I'm trying to avoid the times you do so that we don't crash. hopefully we do videos together. These coming weeks because my next treatment is next week Thursday. So I will have a bit of time. So big up to you, Martin. Guys, go subscribe to Mankinian Way. Very good channel, very good person, a very good individual. On and off the camera, genuine individual. Okay, so Newcastle doesn't even have European football next season. No way he stays at Newcastle. This is what I was saying to Newcastle fans. Let's say, for instance, he gets approached by Arsenal, City, or PSG. Why would he say no? Like, if you are Bruno, why would you say no? Is it what you love? No. I'm sorry, Newcastle fans. I have seen players leave City. Leroy Sané left City. Sometimes when there's a bigger offer somewhere or a better offer, a better team offer, I'm not trying to disrespect Newcastle, but why would he say no? Let's say, for instance, Bayern come for him. Madrid come for him. Are you trying to tell me, Newcastle fans, that Bruno is going to say, I don't want to go to Bayern to play Champions League football. I don't want to go to PSG to play Champions League football. I don't want to go to City. I don't want to go to Liverpool. I don't want to go to Man City to play Champions League football because I love Newcastle so much. I'll stay here for one season. No, guys, I'm telling you, the only way he stays at Newcastle if nobody comes for him with that price or nobody's willing to pay the release clause of 100 million. But I think this is one to watch, guys. This is one to watch. Okay, so that's the transfer part. Let me just fix up the graphics. There we go. And there we go. We fixed the graphics. Yeah, so anyway, let's talk about players now. I just want to talk about a few players. First player I want to talk about was Phil Foden. What an amazing season. What an amazing season by Phil Foden. And there's been a lot of talk from people throughout the years saying, oh, Foden is hype. When will Foden show up? Oh my God, did he show up this season? Foden was amazing this season, and he deserved to be the player of the season. He deserved to be the Writers' Football Player of the season. This kid saved us a lot. This season, we didn't have Haaland, and we didn't have De Bruyne, and Foden stepped up. So big up to Foden, and this season, he's carried this team, and I hope he continues to carry this team, and I hope he continues growing confidence to carry this team, because for somebody who's just 23 years old, I think Phil Foden has a lot of stages to reach. Now, let me talk about players that did not work out. One player that broke my heart this season is Nunes, because when we signed Nunes, I genuinely thought, and this is the thing that frustrates me, and because I watch football, guys, I watch a lot of teams. I wanted Ruben Neves, by the way. I think when Gundogan left and we went after Ruben Neves, I think that was going to be perfect, because Ruben Neves is one of the ballers. I was pissed off to see Ruben Neves go to Saudi. But Nunes, I don't know, man. I don't understand why things did not click as I thought they would, because Nunes is such a great player. I'm sorry, I rate him. I think he's such a great player. I genuinely thought when he came in, he'll be one of the players next to Rodri. And I think it can work. I just don't know how. Here's a comment by Big Up to You, Luke. Said, big up, Patrick, and in the chat. Big up to you, Luke. Big up to you, man. Hope you're having a lovely day. Yeah, Nunes. I don't know how Mercedes Nunes, it didn't work out, because I thought he was going to be next to Rodri. I have watched Nunes play next to Ruben Neves, play next to defensive midfielders, and himself also sometimes play as a defensive midfielder, and he's been great. I've seen him in the Portuguese team. I saw him in the Sporting team. So when we signed him, I was so excited, and he's very creative. So I thought, okay, I see why we're signing him. But somehow it did not work out. Somehow it was a bit underwhelming. Okay, Nunes needs a season to bed in. I think he does. I don't know, guys in the chat. Guys, do you agree with me? I think we still have a good player in there. I know people are like, oh, you were giving Phillips the same vibe, but I'm just saying, I think Nunes is more talented than Phillips. That's my opinion. And I think there's a player in there in Nunes, and he can be useful. Nunes needs a season to bed in, I think so. Nunes will click in time. Pep will use him. Great team player. His time will come. I also feel the same. I see reports saying, oh, he's for sale. I think that's just reports, but I wouldn't mind keeping Nunes. But for me to rate him as a player, I think it hasn't been great, but we'll see. Nunes trains better. Phillips did. That's true, Jerry. That's true. Okay, another player. Let's talk about Kovacic. Kovacic was one of the players I wanted to come to City, and I'm so pissed off that he came to City at the age of 29, because I wanted him to come to City at the age of 27 or something. I remember when Man City were linked to Kovacic, and he was at Madrid, and then boom, Chelsea bought him. I was so pissed off. I truly wanted Kovacic to come to City, and I am so impressed by Kovacic, and the fact that this season we've had to rely on him. I'm so happy because some people were not giving him a chance. So I am so happy that Kovacic this season has been money. He's been reliable. He's helped us, to be honest with you, in most situations. And
Hello, Patrick.
how you doing? How you doing? Carl?
Sorry.
Yeah. No, don't worry. You just missed the transfer part. I know you don't really like transfer part, so it's good.
I hate transfers.
I know you hate.
I hate transfers.
Yeah. Now I'm just talking about the players. I was talking about Nunes, saying I haven't given up on Nunes. I still think there's a player in there. As I said, I have seen him play next to a DM, a holding midfielder. I've seen him play holding midfielder himself. I just feel like there's a player in there, and we shouldn't start giving up yet. I don't know how you feel about Nunes.
I mean, let's give everybody a chance, right? I mean, everybody deserves a chance. Jack had a chance. Rodri had a chance after a year. Sane had a chance. Mahrez had another year to try to get it right. A lot of these players, they hired Big Morgan. They had their chances. So why not? Give him a shot. If it doesn't work out after next year, then we know that he's meant to leave. Simple.
Can I ask you something? Where would you play? Because I have seen him play in midfield next to the defensive midfielder. He plays as a box to box.
I wouldn't play him there. Play him in a wing, man. Right wing or left wing.
Would you play him as a winger instead? But he's not a bad midfielder, you know that, right?
Until he gets to know the Pep system, play him wide. You know how you play him wide. Let him come in on the right wing instead of Doku playing right wing. Let Doku go to the left wing. Try him then. See what happens. He's fast. He's quick. He's strong.
Yeah, but Savio is coming in.
That's a problem. Don't tell that. No, don't tell that. Some people they say Savio is going back to Girona. They say he's not good enough.
I know some people seem to think Savio is not good enough for the team, which is shocking me, to be honest with you, because I think Savio is well capable. And Micho, the Girona manager, says he's the best player he's coached in a long time. So I'm pretty sure he's highly rated. So what are your thoughts on Kovacic, Carl? The guy stepped up when we needed him.
Of course he did. He's a professional. Did his job. What can you say? The guy has won the Premier League now. The guy never won a Premier League when he was at Chelsea. You know that, right? Did you know that?
Yeah, that's the one that was missing. He said that.
Yeah. The guy never won a Premier League when he was at Chelsea. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about Chelsea. Chelsea have done well this season. They've got to 6th place. Or was it 7th? I can't remember. But that's just a sign. For the Chelsea fans who were saying the guy was a waste, a washover, useless, guess what? He has something. He has a Premier League trophy. He has 2 Champions Leagues. I believe it's maybe 2 or 3. Actually, he has 3 now, right? No, 2. He has 2 Champions Leagues. Madrid and Chelsea. He has Europa League. He has everything.
I think he won more than one at Madrid. Was he still there? I think he still received. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. We'll see anyway. Yeah. So say Kovacic in a double pivot has been amazing. Do we need to be playing a double pivot though? Foden with Rodri can work in most games. What do you think of this question by Jerry? Thank you very much for the question, Jerry.
The game is too quick now for a single pivot. It's too aggressive, too quick. That's why Rodri needs that double help. He can't cover the whole field with a single pivot. Everything's changed. If you play a single pivot, right, against high working teams, you're gonna get killed. They'll destroy you. That's why teams invert left. I mean, Arsenal do it, City do it, even Liverpool now are doing it now. Liverpool stopped playing a single 6 because Fabinho was the last one there and he got killed. Fernandinho was our last one there. When Rodri tried it, Rodri got killed in his first year. Remember that? Yeah.
That's why we always had Gundogan next to him.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Morgan says he's got 4 Champions League medals. I think so.
There you go. See? Yeah. So he has 4 Champions League and he added just a Premier League to it. Never won a Premier League. Kovacic never did. Now he has one.
Yeah. So what about so I've reviewed Foden, who's had an incredible season. Obviously, when I was talking about transfers, I just touched on Edison, who I think is going to stay, according to me. And then I also think De Bruyne might stay, but I don't see De Bruyne always playing all the time. I think his game will be managed. I talk about Phillips, who's been linked to a lot of clubs. I think he's leaving, but City want to make sure that if Phillips leaves, Carl, whoever takes him on loan has to pay his full salary, and if you are taking him permanently, take him permanently. Jack Grealish, I think it's not going to go, Carl. As much as people think he can, I don't think so. 100 million player, Carl, and I think the investment, some of it hasn't been brought back yet. I don't think City will sell unless you're coming with a big offer. You know what I mean? You're coming with a big offer. People should stop dreaming. I don't think there's no way nobody's going to cough that money right now. So I think they'll be looking at 60, 70 million, and I don't think anybody will pay. So I think he stays. I think he just has to improve, which is obviously what the news are saying. I'm pretty sure he's looking at that himself, and I'm pretty sure he, as an adult, somebody who's turning 29, is going to turn the leaf. And then we and go ahead.
The reality is, I mean, people think I hate Jack. I don't hate Jack. I just feel that he just needs to improve. It's just here's something I think, right? Why don't you just play him in the midfield? Forget it.
Yeah, I think it's time. I think Carl, I remember when he first came, yes, he couldn't track back and this and that, but now he runs around in that midfield. I even saw him in the Madrid game. He stopped playing as a winger. He started playing down midfield, remember? And he was tracking back. And when he was benched, I was like, why are you benching him? He was working hard, isn't it? Remember that with the Madrid away game? He was the one working more hard. So I think they have to drop him down the middle.
I agree.
I seriously think if we ever see another manager, you find another manager, drop him down the middle. And then I spoke who's leaving or staying. I spoke about Bruno Guimaraes. Newcastle fans say, oh, he might stay 1 year. I was like, I highly doubt that will happen, Carl, because guess what? If PSG, City, Madrid, or these people he's been linked to, Arsenal, come to you and they are offering you Champions League football, you're going to stay at Newcastle because you love Newcastle? Carl, I don't think so. They will offer you more money and they offer you Champions League football, and he's 26 years old. I know Newcastle fans are trying to do this copy where you're like, oh, he will stay. He loves the club. I have seen these words before, Carl. I have seen these words before. I've seen these words. Someone say he loves the club, and tomorrow the guy is gone. Remember Jack Grealish? What were the Aston Villa fans saying? Oh, he's rejected our City. They had a space, remember, Carl, from morning until evening, celebrating. Now Jack Grealish is staying, and the next morning he was at City. So anyway, Carl, I've covered all those aspects. I'm not going to review most of the players. I just reviewed Nunes because he was new. I reviewed Kovacic. I think both of them are going to do well next season. But Carl, now let's talk about life after Pep, because a lot of people are panicking. And every time when I speak to you always have a calm voice, and you always have so let's talk Pep. So let's say, for instance, Pep leaves. Like they said, he leaves 2025.
Let me give some breaking news first of all. Guardiola is going to leave the club at some point in the future. Is everybody clear? Right? He's going to leave the club at some point. And when he said, I'm closer to leaving than I'm staying, it's just a fact. He's not going to spend another 9 years at City. He's just not going to.
He wouldn't.
And we'll be, he's not going to. So he's going to leave. Does he leave next year? I don't think so. I think he does 10 years. I think he does +1, 2026. Wraps it up with 10 years, which is enough to have one guy there for 10 years, leading you to victory after victory, changing the football landscape. It's enough. Then bring somebody else in. Bring an Alonso in.
So now let's talk about life after Pep now. So the names that have been linked, according to sources, it looks like Pep Guardiola is a big admirer of De Zerbi. He sees him as the future. And obviously there's rumors that they also admire, like Pep himself personally admires De Zerbi, which I think as much as De Zerbi people say a lot of bad things, I think he is the future. I think Brighton have let him down, Carl. Every time he builds a team, they sell. You know what I mean? Every time he builds a team, they sell. Every time he brings somebody, he develops them. What do they do at Brighton? They sell. So I think that's the reason why he's left. I think, Carl, if you're in the same situation as a manager, you'd leave, isn't it? Every time he brings a team, they sell. That's what they do. So I think
you can't. I mean, you can't. I mean, even I'm right now trying to rebuild the team for next season. I share with you. I share that with you, right? It's tough.
Yeah, imagine if somebody. But Carl, you get where I'm coming from. Because people were saying bad things about De Zerbi. I was like, but think about it, guys. Every time he builds a team, what happens, Carl, at Brighton? They sell, isn't it? They sell. That's what they do. So
I mean, it's tough. I mean, I'm losing my best striker, the one that got me 35 goals last season. The one that right now has our 28 goals so far this season, right? To another team, to the Premier team, right?
It's breaking, isn't it?
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, but what are you going to do? So, I mean, De Zerbi is great. I still like Xabi Alonso. I like the way he plays.
What about Mitch from Girona? Would you take him?
Yeah, I want to see what he does in England first of all, or at least I want to see what he does somewhere else apart from Spain. Because just La Liga was terrible this year, guy. La Liga was horrible. It was very poor. So let's see what he does. But
yeah, so your name, if Pep Guardiola left, you would want to see Xabi Alonso.
Oh, 100%, without question. That's the guy.
Any other names you sit there and say, I'm also interested to see this guy?
I mean, think about it. Who's available, right? Xavi? Is it Xavi going to be?
Let me ask you something. Do you genuinely think, let's say for instance, let me just paint the picture. Guys, like the video, like this. I said subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Retweet if you're on Twitter. Would you see this happening? Because Pep Guardiola says he sees it happening. If company performs at Bayern, would you think company might end up if he performs at Bayern?
100%. 100%. If he goes to Bayern Munich and he performs well, wins the league, does well in the Champions League, what is that to prove again?
Yeah, he also made a speech saying the next Champions League, I think, the final is in Munich. So he's targeting that, yeah.
Yeah. What does that to prove again?
He says Xavi will take it if given. Xavi might be on the radar of Madrid and a lot of clubs, though.
Yeah, that's fair. He probably on the radar of Madrid, even Liverpool again. I'm sure this honest slot guy is probably a stepping bridge. Stone. Yeah. You know, to somebody else. And he probably knows that as well, right? But he's going to take it.
Yeah, but let me ask you. So this life after Pep, do you think some people are panicking? Some people, do you see, because people are like, oh, when Pep goes, this team will drop completely. I know with quality will drop, but do you think we'll drop that much?
No. Before Pep came, we won 2 Premier Leagues in 4 years. How many of no? Yeah. Before Pep came, we won more Premier Leagues than Liverpool have. Before Pep came,
we even reached the semi-final, the Champions League semi-final.
Yeah. What are we talking about? If not for some silly moves, then we got to the final. No. The club is run well.
But people should understand also that I know Cheeky, Fela, and all these people will leave at the same time. It doesn't, but it's life, isn't it? These people have been here for long. I think people don't get it.
Who is telling these people all these stories? Did Cheeky call you and tell you?
I don't know. I'm just saying if they leave, but it's these people should think about it. They've been here for so long.
Pat. What I'm telling you is that all these people saying, "Oh, X, Y," did they call the person and tell them? Were you in the room? Were you eating fried rice or jollof rice with them?
Nah, they turned into a fly and they were
seriously. How do you know?
Yeah, how do you know?
I take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, we're joined by Veta. Veta, you've just joined us here. We're just talking about life after Pep. That if Pep leaves, which manager? Carl says he's very interested in Xavi. He thinks Xavi is the guy he would take. I was giving him about De Zerbi, who Pep keeps talking about and apparently loves so much, and then Mitchell. So what about your thoughts yourself? Just a few minutes. And thank you for being here. You didn't really have to come. If you're busy, man. There's a lot of shows to do. We haven't even done the season review yet. This was just a small show.
Yeah. No, I saw that you were live, so that's why I was in the message real quick. And yeah, I mean, this time of day, it's picking up the kids. But I had to join if I could, man. And thanks for having me on. Shout out to you, Gundo. Life after Pep. Obviously, his contract's 2025. A lot can happen between now and then. I kind of said it on my show. I was like, if we happen to not win the league or win any of the big trophies, right? Champions League or the league trophy, can Pep actually leave on a loss? Like, is he wired to possibly still say bye-bye if that were to be the season? So I'm keeping that in the back of my mind, but
he can't, Victor. He won't.
He can't. I don't think he can either. I don't think he's wired that way. It's like, what? No, I can't go out. Especially with the comparison with him and Sir Alex Ferguson, who went out after winning the title. So there's a lot that can happen in a year. So I'm calm with it. I want to say that.
Later, why do you think Alex Ferguson waited one more year? He was going to leave the year before that. Before in 2012 now, because he lost. Yeah, he lost. So he's like, nah, I'm not living like this, man. I need one more year. When he won it, he left.
Yeah,
winning is a drug. Winning is a drug. I'm telling you, man.
Well, it's a level that when you grow accustomed to it, you want to keep it as much as you can. And you know that losses happen, but many people get fired up even more after a loss. And I think when Pep kind of talks about tired or the hunger, he needs a challenger. He needs a challenger. All greats need a challenger. So we'll see what happens in a year's time. But again, the reason why I'm kind of calm, similar to you guys, is we were winning not like this, not at the rapid fire with Pep, but we were winning before Pep. Pellegrini gave us a League Cup and a Prem. Mancini gave us an FA Cup and a Prem. And it wasn't like those were 5-10-year gaps. Like those guys pretty much came in and delivered. And I think the board, and I'm looking forward to sitting down and hearing that Khaldoon interview, but I think the board are going to be strategic. They're going to take their time. They're going to look and they're going to pick. They're going to have a short list of managers and they're going to pick one that's going to suit the club. And I think success isn't going to be long decades away. I think it'll be very consistent in terms of how we do. But we know that Pep's a genius. We don't expect that to be the same standard. I hope, and I know on the panel with Gundo and you, Patrick, I know that we're not thinking, and we won't be speaking like, I'm accustomed to troubles, so the next manager comes in, needs to deliver me troubles. If not, he's out the door. No, we're not going to be that silly.
Some people are, man.
No, I don't think that's going to be the demand. But anyway, it says, so we want City not to win next season to come back with the foreign seasons. I don't, not really, to be honest with you. You know what, guys? I'm going to discuss with Veda and Carl. We will do a season review on what we see next for City in general for the team. We'll do a proper show on that. It's just today I promised people that I'll be back on Thursday. So I'm going to talk about a few players. I talked about Phil Foden. I talked about Nunes. I talked about Kovacic. Transfer news, as I said, Kyle Walker is 34 years old, people. And if he wants to leave, for me personally, I'm not hating on Kyle Walker. I've been defending him. But at the age of 34, I think we should start looking for another fullback. I think this thing where we are reliant on Kyle Walker's speed to help us in certain aspects, I think we have to move on. We will end up like the time when we had Sanya and Denman, Kolarov and Klinchi, and then they were too old, and then we said we couldn't get fullbacks. There was a point in time this team had no fullbacks. I think we have to start. If he's going back to playing with fullbacks, he has to start looking for younger ones. And I wouldn't mind Rico Lewis. I'm sorry, I know that people sometimes say, but Rico Lewis, I've seen him. Every time he performs, he surprises me. I always hope I have a low bar for him, Carl. I don't know about you, but I have a low bar for Rico Lewis every time he comes in. And every time he surprises me, I'm like, wow. Him and Bob, there was a game when they came on and they said playing 1-2. So I was like, oh my God, these kids, they really know what Pep Boy is. So I think for Kyle Walker at 34, Kyle, I don't know about you, veteran Kyle, how you feel. I think at 34, go ahead.
My only problem with Lewis playing the right back position is the fact that he lacks the physicality and the speed that Walker has. So think about those games where we have to go play like Madrid or Bayern Munich on that right side. What do we do?
But he's got Salah. Remember, Salah is fast.
Yeah. I think a little more experience, a little more strength. I think
he even caught that winger from Fulham, the fast one. What's the Jamaican one? He went through and he caught him.
We need somebody we're talking about going into next season in a new Champions League format where everything's open. You could get Liverpool, Bayern Munich, back to back before you even get to the knockout stage.
So we need to invest in somebody.
We need some serious physicality in that right back position. A runner.
You'd like to see at least a little bit of competition between another right back and himself, one that can push, so they can push each other, get stronger, and obviously we need balance because Rico, if he were the guy, he can't play all games, so we need somebody. We do.
We do, and hopefully in a few weeks, because the window is open on the 1st of June, we'll start seeing names linked. Evening, gents. How you doing, Championship manager? Rico reminds me of Xabi Hernandez. He's not a lamb type RB who had a bit of gas. Yeah, that is true. So, guys, that is it. And there's 115 of you. That's good. It's actually 115. I'm not joking. There's actually 115 of you watching the stream. So
really,
115, 115. Anyway, we'll talk. I'll talk with the gents, and then we'll do a show. I'm free tomorrow evening. I'm free Saturday evening. Sunday, no, but even Sunday at a point in time. So we'll talk. We'll do a show, and then we will talk in general about a lot of topics. If it's Veda's show, I'll jump on Veda's show. Today I couldn't jump. The time when I saw him live, I was in the car listening to him, but I was like, I'm driving. I think I was picking up my daughter from the thing. But if there's any shows, we'll get on. But guys, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Carl these days is a very busy man. But he's got a secretary, so you have to speak to his secretary before.
Yeah.
You call him.
You got to make appointments with Carl now. You have to
make appointments. You don't make appointments. This man won't be there.
Yeah,
guys, go ahead.
We're wrapping up our season. We have 2 games left in the season. We're top of the league, thank God. We have 2 games left. Hopefully, we win those 2 games. In the tournament we played this tournament. We played 4 games in 2 days in 32-degree heat. Kids were phenomenal. Came second. Was beaten by a Premier Elite team. So it's been busy for me, man. I mean, now we're starting next season. We're planning for next season with new players. So we'll see.
Okay, big up. So the 115 of you, when I go on YouTube, I want to see 115 likes. And the 115 of you also watching on Twitter, I want to see 115 likes on Twitter. Thank you very much, Big Morgan, Gary, and everybody who was in the comments, and everybody who's watched. Appreciate it. I'll post another link for another video if after we discuss what to talk about. But go subscribe to Pitch Points and Veda Games. Thank you very much, guys. See you. I am going to just I'm just going to leave you with the new intro as we leave because some of you say you liked it, so I'm going to leave you with that. So big up.
Wins tackles! Wonderful goal! It's a title winner! Perfect end to a perfect day. Manchester City 4, Manchester United 1. Oh, what a hedge! Oh, that's electrifying! Hat-trick hunting, trick getting.
Still the appetite is there for more. Oh, it is sensational!